Hi, welcome to Exousia's Grant Talk. I'm Danny Arthur, and I'm so glad you're here to join me on the topic of speaking the Grantors language. Let's get started. Picture this. A foundation releases a grant to address food insecurity in your county. The award is $50,000. The deadline is in 6 weeks. Your church has run a food pantry for 11 years. You've served over 8,000 families. You have trained volunteers, you have a refrigerated storage room, and you have accumulated partnerships with 3 local grocery stores. You are, by every measure, exactly what this funder is looking for. But your application is declined. Not because your work wasn't excellent, but because your proposal read more like a ministry update rather than a grant application. The funder couldn't see in the language they were looking for that you were exactly the right partnership. So that's what this video is all about. How do we speak the funder's language? It's not about changing who you are. It's not about hiding your faith, but it's learning to communicate the full value of your ministry and programs in the language that secular and non-faith-based funders see and use, so that the doors that should be open to your ministry actually open. Before we talk about what to do, let's talk about what you're walking into. Non-faith-based grant makers, from community foundations to government agencies, corporate giving programs, and secular private foundations, operate from a framework built around a few core questions, such as, what specific problem are you solving? Who exactly are you serving? And how many? What will change because of this funding? And how will you be able to prove it or track your success? Does your organization have the capacity to deliver? Is your work consistent with the grant-making organization's mission and values? Notice what was not on the list. What does your congregation believe? How large is your Sunday attendance? What denomination are you? Non-faith-based funders are not trying to evaluate your theology. They are trying to evaluate the effectiveness that you would have to offer as a community service provider. That distinction is really important, and it's liberating. The overlap between your mission and a grant-making organization's mission is almost certainly larger than you think. The work of a church, from feeding people to supporting families, educating children, restoring dignity, maps directly into the priorities of most community funders. Your job is to make that overlap visible. Alignment begins with understanding. Before you write anything, spend real time learning who this funder is and what they care about. Always lay a foundation of research. Here's what to look for. What is the funder's stated purpose? Write it down. Learn it. Learn to use the language that they use. You're writing your grant proposal to them. What topics, populations, or geographies do they fund? Are you a genuine fit? Look up who has received funding from this organization before. What kind of organizations do they fund? What types of programs? This tells you more than any guidelines document. Annual reports also reveal what the funder values in narrative form, the stories they choose to tell about, and how their work that they are funding and the impact that they are having. What words are repeated in their guidelines? Could be equity, outcome, capacity, vulnerable populations. Note these terms. They are signals. If a program officer bio is available, read them. Understand their background. This is a human relationship, not just a transaction. Once you've done your research, ask yourself one honest question. Is this funder a genuine fit for your program or ministry? If the answer is yes, proceed with confidence. If it's a stretch, it may not be worth the effort. And a misaligned application can actually damage a funder's relationship for the future. This is a skill that unlocks secular grant funding for faith communities. It's not about being dishonest, it's about being complete. Your ministry has a theological foundation and a community impact. Most grant applications call for you to describe the community impact. When you only describe the theological foundation, funders can't see the impact that you are having, how you are benefiting real people with real needs in your community. When you effectively describe both, you win. Let's look at some real-world translation examples. For instance, you're describing your mission. You could say, "We exist to share the love of Christ and make disciples in our community." But if you're going for a broader mission statement, you might say, "We are a 501c3 community organization with a 20-year history of delivering direct social services, including food distribution, youth mentorship, and family crisis support to underserved residents in our city." Let's say you're describing a food pantry. You could have said, "Our church family comes together each week to bless our neighbors with food and prayer." On the other hand, you could say, "Our weekly food distribution program serves an average of 340 unduplicated households per month, providing supplemental groceries to food insecure residents in zip codes 47374, areas where 1 in 4 children live below the federal poverty line." Let's say you're describing a youth program. You could say, "Our youth group mentors young people in Christian values and character." Or you could say, "Our after-school mentorship program serves 85 middle and high school students annually, with a focus on academic support, social-emotional skill development, and post-secondary planning. 78% of our program participants improved their GPA within 1 semester of enrollment." Let's say you're describing your volunteers. "We are blessed with a dedicated congregation of servants who give their time freely." Or you could say, "Our program is supported by 60 trained volunteers, contributing an average of 1,800 hours of service annually, equivalent to approximately $50,000 in contributed labor value." Do you see what is happening? The work didn't change, the people didn't change, the mission didn't change, only the lens changed from internal church language to language that described the external impact. Both descriptions are true. The grant application calls for the second one. Non-faith-based funders, especially foundations and government agencies, are deeply invested in evidence. They want to know, does this program really work? And how do you know it does? Churches often have powerful stories to tell, but the story alone isn't enough for a competitive secular grant application. You need numbers alongside the narrative. So start tracking, or start organizing what you're already tracking. For instance, the people served, unduplicated counts by month and year. Begin to track the demographics that represent those that you serve, from their age, gender, race, ethnicity, zip code, income level if it's available, household composition. Begin to track your program attendance, enrollment, attendance, and completion rates. What about your outcomes? What changed for the participants, from test scores to employment rates, housing stability, sobriety, etc. Track your volunteer hours contributed. Don't forget about community partnerships and referral relationships, as well as total in-kind resources leveraged, from facility value to donated goods, volunteer labor. If you don't have all of this yet, start now. Even 6 months of good data collection significantly strengthens a future grant application. and many funders offer capacity building grants specifically to help organizations build these systems. Here's the important thing to understand. Data doesn't replace your story, it validates it. The most compelling grant proposals pair human narrative with numbers, a name and face alongside a compelling statistic. Both are necessary. Neither is sufficient alone. One of the most powerful things that you can do in a secular grant application is to demonstrate that you understand the community problem, not just from your own experience, but also from publicly documented data. Funders want to know, is the need real? Is it significant? Why should this matter to us? And are you positioned to address it? So use publicly available sources to strengthen your case. Some of my favorite go-tos include the U.S. Census Bureau, which provides data on poverty rates, income, as well as demographics in your zip code. Then there are also county health rankings and community health assessments, local school data on free and reduced lunch eligibility, as well as state and federal data on food insecurity, homelessness, eviction rates, food deserts, or even unemployment. There are also community needs assessments that are frequently published by local United Ways and/or other community foundations. Begin to look for them and bookmark them. When you open a proposal section with, in Wayne County, 22% of our children live in food insecure households, according to the USDA, a rate 6 points above the national average. You are speaking directly to how a program officer evaluates community need. Then, when you follow it up with, our food pantry has operated in the heart of this community for 14 years, serving the families behind that statistic, that combination, documented need plus proven presence, is extraordinarily compelling. Here's the question many churches quietly worry about when pursuing secular grants. Do we hide that we're a church? The answer is no, absolutely not. And here's why that approach would backfire. Funders always do their due diligence. They will find your website, your IRS designation, your community presence. Trying to obscure your identity creates distrust, which is the last thing that you want to build a funder relationship on. Instead, address your faith identity clearly and frame it as an asset, which it is. Here's language that works better. Let's say that you're describing your organizational identity. You might state, Oak Park Church is a faith-based 501c3 organization rooted in Richmond, Indiana. Our programs are open to all residents regardless of faith background, and no religious participation is required to receive services. Our congregation provides the volunteer base, facility, and organizational infrastructure that makes our community programs possible at no cost to the grant budget. Notice what this does. It's transparent about being faith-based, no surprises for the funder. It immediately addresses the primary concern, inclusive access. It reframes the congregation as a resource and asset, not a gatekeeper's mechanism. It signals awareness of funder concerns without being defensive about them. For government grants, specifically, you'll want to ensure that grant-funded activities are entirely distinct from religious programming, different times, spaces, and budgets. This is manageable, and many churches do it successfully. So describe these distinctions clearly in your grant application. When a secular funder reviews your application, they are assessing not just your program, but your organization as well. They want to know, can this group actually deliver? So make sure your organizational materials project the capacity and credibility of the serious community partner that you are. Before submitting any significant grant application, go ahead right now and confirm that you have a current 501c3 determination letter readily available to attach, that you have an organizational financial report, including a profit and loss statement and balance sheet. Do you also have an organizational financial statements from your profit and loss statement to your balance sheet? If you are not a church, do you have your most recent IRS Form 990 publicly filed and consistent with your application data? Do you have a board of trustees or board of directors list that include names of the governing board members? What about a program operational budget? Is it clear with line item breakdowns of how grant funds will be used? Consider letters of support from community partners, people invested in your program, partner organizations. Do you include staff and volunteer bios demonstrating the qualifications of those delivering the program? And evaluation plans. How will you measure, track, and report your program outcomes? If any of these feel like gaps in your current organizational infrastructure, prioritize closing those gaps today. These aren't bureaucratic boxes. They are evidence of the organizational maturity that secular funders expect. Here is something that most churches don't know. The grant process often begins long before the application deadline. Non-faith-based funders, especially foundations, value relationships. Program officers attend community events. They read local news. They notice who is doing consistent, credible work. So, start today building funder relationships. Attend public meetings hosted by your local community foundation. Invite program officers to tour your programs. Many will say yes. Send brief updates about your work to funders whose priorities align with yours before the grant application is ever posted. When a funder releases a new priority area, reach out to introduce your organization. Thank funders who decline your application and ask for feedback. When a program officer already knows your name, your work, and your community reputation, your application arrives in a very different light than a cold submission from an unknown organization. The work your church is doing, the food you're distributing, the youth you're mentoring, the families you're walking alongside, is exactly what secular grant funders exist to support and to do. The gap between your ministry and their grant dollars is not a gap of mission. Oftentimes, it's a gap of language, of documentation, of relationship. And every one of those gaps can be closed. You don't have to shrink your faith to access these resources. What you do need to do is grow your communication. You have to learn to show the full picture of what you do in the language of outcomes, of data, of community need, of organizational capacity. When you do that, you're not becoming less of a church. You're becoming a more effective ambassador for the work of God. The resources are there. The alignment is there. Now, let's go make it visible. I'll see you later.